And I know Jesse will be documenting this for me. It's very, very important. And they just kind of stood the hair up on my neck. They told me that I need to leave this location. Okay? And the reason that they're telling me to leave this location is because on our last little walk, as we came right up through here, we made this little bend right through there, and we came from down there. They said right down, there he is right there. Do y'all see him? Hey! They were here, guys. They were here. See the lights? So they set this area up too, guys. This is my other spot. Look here. They were waiting on me tonight, no doubt.
what's bound in grace with you. I've found my safest place. Ride or die through the firestorm tonight. God brought us here, we'll stand and fight. You're my best friend, my love, my life. I'm going nowhere, I'm holding tight.
All right. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. And I didn't blow your ears out this time. I remembered to turn down the main volume so I don't have to listen to Jesse gripe about it. It's all I've heard today is her griping in my ear. I've had to switch ears tonight for this show. I had to use my other earpiece. My other ears wore out. Not really. Oh man, I tell you what, it's been a long day today, guys. We just got through wrapping up an interview with another individual, and tonight we have Blake on with us from the Lost Cryptids Conservatory. We're going to talk about a few things. God knows where it will go, because, well, Jesse's ADD. She takes us on these adventures sometimes, and I think people really enjoy that. So our show is kind of it looks like a drunk driver has drove down the road. We kind of swerve all around. So, but at least we have fun. I guess that's the main thing. Let me go ahead and throw Jesse on here real quick. And are you ready to come on, Randy? Make sure I don't just throw you in the middle of this.
Uh-huh.
Randy says he's ready. How are you tonight, Jesse?
Oh, I'm great. Oh, yeah, you threw Randy on just in time.
Yeah. Allergy.
What's up, Randy?
Yeah.
Allergy.
Yeah, I've been battling those too. You would think in the wintertime that you would not have to battle them, but I actually had to run to town and had to get me some of these right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it works for me. Allegra.
Allegra.
Sudafed is the only thing. Sudafed is the only thing that I can take that actually works. I've tried.
Is that right there?
Yeah, that won't work. It's crazy.
Tell you what.
You know, every time when I go in there and they card me for ID to buy Sudafed, it's like they look at me like I'm a drug dealer. It's like, guys, I'm too fat to be on meth, all right? And my teeth are good, so I'm not on meth.
Tell them you're not messing around. Sometimes my nose runs faster than I can eat it, so I know how it feels.
What I hate is when it's going back to the back of your throat when it's running so bad, you know. I hate days like that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. It's like swallowing a raw egg.
Oh, it's like eating, clams when they're not cooked. It's like somebody loves eating mussels. To me, it's like swallowing snot. I mean, I would rather my food be cooked,
I guess you could try to see if you could have it string from your mouth to the ground without breaking.
Oh my gosh! Stop.
Oh, there's got my nose itching. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and bring Blake on so we can get this show started today. Enough of that. I just got through eating too. Woo. What's up, Blake?
Hey, Blake. Oh.
You never know what you're gonna.
Can't hear ya.
I
No.
think like
Yeah, there's no volume. Can't hear ya.
the government has already shutting down.
Yeah,
See?
he's muted
Can you hear me
already.
now?
Yay!
Finally. No, I think it's StreamYard. It doesn't like me anymore because I use a different program. So it always is a hassle trying to log back on. And
Yeah.
anyways,
How have you been?
I've been good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a good holiday so far. I'm looking for the next holiday and spend time with the family and getting a good workout in and walking down alleys and eating stray dogs and all that.
Well, at least you make it out of the alley. That's the important thing.
I know. Imagine that.
There's a lot of mangy dogs in them alleys.
I know they're mostly just bark.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh man. So I seen one of your videos and I was like, "Is Blake in a tree?" And you were up. I noticed that you were up in a tree. So
Yeah.
how did that work? How did that work out? Did you see anything?
No. But basically, I was up in my tree climbing gear and stuff and hooked up and strapped in and got the cameras and stuff set up and was, live having fun. But in reality, I mean, I stick out like a sore thumb, especially when you're talking to the phone, not really stealthy. But if, you didn't have the phone to go live and you tried to be as sneaky as you can and you were up there like all day and all night, maybe it would work, with a nice thermal camera. But
Well, there's a lot of deer hunters that are up in their tree stands that have encounters. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, this time around is this season usually is the most sightings because of all the people that go in the woods off trail, because there's the same amount of people during the whole year just not going off trail in the swamps or the spots where the deer are at, and so there's more of these chance encounters and maybe a competition of food and stuff like that, just like any other animals getting ready for winter and all that. So yeah.
I was showing everybody. I went out the other day, and a lot of people had asked me. They're like, you got a lot of around where I'm at. There's a lot of woods. It's mostly ranch and core land, and they're like, "Is there enough food down there, to sustain these creatures?" I'm like, "Yeah, the deer out here are overpopulated. The ranchers won't allow anybody to hunt them. Well, there's more deer and herds out here than they got cows. And now we've got wild hogs. It doesn't matter where you turn. There's herds of hogs. And then a lot of people don't know this, but the Corps of Engineers, they lease out a lot of their land, and they will grow a lot of corn on it. The corn they grow is not the corn that most of us will eat. It is the corn that they will turn into feed. We call it just regular, lost my train of thought. Field corn is what we call it. And they will grow it and then they'll make feed out of it. But like the deal is they have to go in and manage the land. And then I think they have to leave like 30% for the wildlife. So there's a ton of corn down there. All kinds of stuff to support, anything that want to live down there. I mean, when I was little, we used to eat that corn. I mean, it don't taste as good as regular corn, but I mean, it's edible. You can eat it. And there's a lot of things down there. And of course, I got some idiots going out there right now that are sticking up trail markers everywhere where I've been going, trying to make them look like eyes. But
yeah, I've encountered that too and stuff. It's, funny and stuff. But yeah, there's lots of food, especially, only other than like winter season when food gets scarce for all the animal species in the environment. But the other seasons, there's plenty of food, especially if they're omnivores and stuff that eat a lot of plants and roots like bears and stuff. There's a lot of calories found besides just in deer and But when you mix it all and stuff, that's why gorillas are a little bit different. They only eat plants. They don't eat meat, and they have to eat their own feces to get extra protein. Well, Sasquatch, I'm sure, eat their own feces, but maybe they do. We don't ever find it, but they eat meat and stuff, right? They eat deer and stuff, so they don't need to do that, which would be able to make them stronger. So especially if they eat a lot of fish and stuff, that also helps, especially the brain power. But in winter, just like we're right now, I'm sure you guys got snow finally, and we definitely have a little bit more snow now. But food is a little bit more scarce. But I mean, you don't have to speculate. What does Bigfoot do? You can look at what other animals do in the environment, like squirrels or raccoons or bears, and where's all the lizards go? Where are all the turtles at? Where's all the bugs at and stuff, right? The greatest disappearing act in the animal kingdom basically is billions of insects disappearing for 6 months and then shooting back up.
Thank God.
And so a lot of species and stuff might not hibernate like a bear and stuff, but they do slow down and will change their habits, and actually, metabolisms and stuff will slow down with it, and energy consumption rate and conserving it. So I would assume Bigfoot does that too, and being a big body animal, you actually are able to conserve heat a lot easier. So, and deer, they don't sleep in caves and stuff. They just sleep right out in the winter in the cold, and they got fur, and so it's not unplausible why Bigfoot could survive. And
that's what I was actually, it's kind of weird, because that's what I was explaining to people today on my outdoor channel. We have sheep, and a lot of people were saying, don't they get cold, and don't the cows get cold because the cows are out? And I was like, no, the cows actually stay warm by eating. So you feed them more grain, and then by them eating, their body will release heat from the digestive process. And a lot of the ways that we'll tell when we check the cows and stuff, if they're doing okay in the winter, if it's snowing or whatever, they will have snow on their back. And a lot of, people will say, oh my God, they got snow on their back, they're cold. No. The snow on their back is good. That means they're not releasing heat. They're retaining their body heat. It's the cows that don't have no snow on them. They're the ones that you need to feed more and make sure, because they're losing their heat. They're not building enough heat. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, you just look at the animal kingdom and stuff. Reptiles do their own thing. I mean, some frog species actually get frozen solid and then revive in spring. But a lot of species, they burrow underground, or they're will have typor movements, so it's not quite hibernations and stuff, but they definitely slow down a lot. That's what snakes and turtles and stuff do. Turtles dive underneath the water and will bury themselves underneath the muck and the sand to stay warm. And they're able to survive and breathe out their butts and stuff like that. different species can do different stuff.
I did not know that, dude, until the other night. And a lot, pigs breathe out of their butt.
I didn't know that. Yeah, turtles do underwater when they're doing this hibernation thing.
Pigs can actually breathe out of their butt. Also, they're another species that can do that. And a lot of people didn't know that. We was talking about that the other day, and was like, yeah, pigs. We learned that. And 4-H.
And nature finds a way.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of like makes sense though, because catfish, when we go catfishing now in the wintertime, we're not going to be fishing in the shallows. We're going to be fishing in the deep, and we're not going to use as big a bait. We have to use smaller bait, because the catfish don't want big bait right now, because it takes energy to digest it. They want smaller pieces, and they're more lethargic and they don't move as much. So we have to fish the deeper water.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the species and stuff, and what your body's doing and stuff. Because, I mean, I would assume Sasquatch, they kind of slow down, and you have a nice stockpile of food and fresh water, and I mean, you can survive, especially if you just sleep most of the time. I mean, cats sleep most of their lives away, so
yeah.
So it's not too hard to get through, because this is what most animals do in the northern hemisphere climates of, slowing down or surviving the roughs of winter and stuff. So, I don't think they need to necessarily find a big cave system to survive in, but it definitely would help them be unseen. But because, deer and everything else just sleep out in the, besides bear, they make dens and stuff, and a bear den's very hard to find sometimes. Sometimes the openings are very small, and you'll be surprised how big a bear can fit in there. I think, Sasquatches make dens kind of like that, or go underneath the water, make dens like otters and stuff would do.
That would make sense.
I found a big hole when we had the big drought this year. There was a huge hole down below the creek. I recorded it. Perfect hole, and it's of course it's underwater now. But I was like, man, that is weird. I mean, it was just perfect. It was pretty good sized hole.
I mean, if you were like in Florida, I'd say that'd be a gator. Gator
Well.
hole, I mean, it could be, but I think the Sasquatch probably does the same thing. Get a little den with air pocket, and humans typically don't dive underneath the water like that, and without special gear. I mean, it's pretty dangerous and all that.
I'm not diving in any of this water down here.
Yeah, especially if you're in the South with gators and all that, or snakes. It's like it's even more of a deterrent and stuff. So,
I mean, when I was young, we used to swim out there and stuff. We didn't think about it. And now that I've got older, and I've took my boat out a few more times and have seen things, I'm like, God, man, we were swimming out there with that. And my buddies are like, dude, we're lucky, dude, because they're finding alligators by me now. We used to never have alligators here. Now they're finding 12 and 14-foot alligators. I just sent Jesse an article. They just found, what was it, a 12-foot gator? Not far from me, just laying out sunning.
Mike, they were there when we were kids. We just didn't see them.
Most likely. I mean, they've always been there. I mean, they used to go up the Mississippi River and would be in the Great Lakes, actually, and bull sharks would travel through the river systems all over North America until we built dams and it made it a little harder. But there used to be sharks in the Great Lakes and other creatures that could get up in there and stuff, too.
I would not want to go swimming in the Great Lakes.
And they say that Oologah Lake, one of the big mysteries of the lake that I live on is it has a giant octopus in it. And a lot of people are attributed to drowning by it, and people drown here every year. I mean, people die here every year, and I don't know if an octopus is doing it, but people do drown. And that, you'll always hear it on the news. They'll say, well, he was a great swimmer, he was out there swimming and he went under and just never resurfaced. And they find him like 7 or 9 miles, down the lake. And they're like, man, that's a long ways for a body to float, I don't know.
And a lot of Native Americans have, superstitions about lakes, and a lot of different cultural natives and tribes have superstitions about lakes and drownings, and if there's a particular body of water that's allowed at drownings, they, usually there's a spirit or some kind of animal, or in North America they had water pythons and snakes with horns and different water creatures, and sometimes just a big giant turtle. In Europe they had paintings and depictions of big giant catfish the size of cars that would be eating people, and because the catfish can just get bigger and bigger the longer it lives, and without the modern industrial fishing, who's to say how big they could have got,
Absolutely.
And the same things with sharks and some of these other creatures of the sea, especially when it's said that we're depleting the ocean and stuff, but it's hard to really say when we don't have everything fully mapped out.
I've got friends that go noodling. They noodle catfish every year, and they get 60, 70 pounders every year. And and they'll come in. Their arms are all cut up. And I got one buddy. I sent Jesse the video where he got a snapping turtle out of the creek down here. It was just stupid big. Its head was like this. I mean, just enormous, dude. And he's like, pulling it up, and it's like bigger than him, and I'm like, you're dumb, dude. There ain't no way I'd be on it. Be down in that creek.
Scary. We're lucky that turtles are scared of us. They don't come and chomp us as we're swimming because they take your ankle, your hand off, and it's like pretty soon you're disabled in the water, and this turtle's coming up. It's like, we're
I've
lucky.
seen that in Birmingham, Alabama, the size of Volkswagens.
Yeah. No.
The lake I used to swim in. You couldn't pay me enough to go swimming in that water these days, let alone the lakes around here that I used to swim in Oklahoma as a kid. The last time I was swimming was like early 2000s, and we got sick. Everybody that got in that water. 2 weeks later, it was summertime, plenty, it wasn't a drought or anything. There was no warnings of anything, growing in the lakes. It was a normal summer back then. And then 2 weeks later, we went back, we got in the water, and everybody that got in the water got sick. Everybody who stayed on the bank didn't get sick. And that was the last time I went swimming in the local lakes, was back in the early 2000s.
I mean, unfortunately, there's a lot of pollution and different kind of chemicals and runoff that we know about, don't run about, and just environmental changes. It's kind of sad, but luckily I would assume it seems like we're doing better now compared to 100 years ago. I know we used to just poison everything, and it was pretty bad. I know in Michigan and stuff with it was like DTE or something, DTT or something. It used to kill all the bald eagles and stuff before it got banned in the 20s.
DTT, they use it for poisoning stuff, and it worked great. Yeah. It killed the hell out of everything. Even people.
Yeah.
So 100 years ago, we were drastically just destroying everything. And I'm just surprised it's as healthy as it is now, and it just shows how.
Well, how about the findings of the common weed killer, the main brand? They're finding out that is actually causing cancer and other kinds of diseases. Those sprays that people's been using, and it's a popular one. I'm not going to name the name, but everybody knows.
Yeah,
you go to Walmart.
The couple leading popular ones are a mess.
Yeah, stuff that we took for granted. How about I used to love Campbell's soup, chicken noodle soup. Finding out that shit's not even real meat. We threw all that away. I mean, we threw that shit out. I'll eat it. I mean, they make the meat in the Campbell's chicken noodle with a 3D printer. What the hell?
It's crazy. The future is kind of crazy and stuff. It's not going in a good spot. I mean, it'd be different if we had,
What 3D printers are is remember the food dispensers in Star Trek? That's what the 3D printer is that they're using to print the meat with in the chicken noodle soup at Campbell's. That's the first food dispensers. That's the early stage of it.
Yeah, they got the fake meat. They got in Japan. They were making a protein meat out of recycled poop.
Yeah.
They were really I'm not joking. They were really trying to get a protein meat out of recycled poop. I don't think it probably really went anywhere, but I'm sure if you looked it up, you could still find videos of them working on it. I hope they're not still working on it. But
who wants to eat that, really?
The claim is it's 100% going to be good and not deadly to you, I guess.
Well, hey, it worked for the apes and the dogs and possums, I guess. So
yeah, it's totally different, and Sasquatches too. I'm sure they're capable of eating nasty, rotten crap. But humans, we're just kind of, compared to the animal kingdom, we're really babies and stuff. Like, we don't have claws, we don't have fur to keep warm. Like, we literally have to use the environment and other animals and stuff to survive and have the same kind of qualities and adaptations as animals. I mean, we're very just weak out there comparatively. Even our bones structurally compared to apes our sizes and stuff, they're many times stronger and denser and stuff. Almost every animal on this planet, pound for pound, has denser bones than us, and stronger endurance. And when they get hurt, they're able to shrug off or keep going. And that's why you see animals with injuries that would be like, if it was a human, it'd be like, whoa, how do you survive the pain, the infection, and just everything.
Right.
But you see it with a lot of different animals. That's you're like, whoa, arrows sticking
Bigfoot
out
just
the ears and through the heads or wherever, and it's like, so Bigfoot, I'm sure can push
slap a handful of poop on it and go on.
slap some spit and some poop on it and call it good. I know. Yeah. Probably get off the poop subject because there's some crazy stuff out there with.
Why does my hamburger have corn in it?
I think that's a renewable resource right there.
Yeah. you never buy corn, you just rent it. You just
Recycling
borrow it.
corn. You can keep recycling corn, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the
So
corn,
right.
corn that we had from last year.
You done a show the other night. I watched it and it was pretty interesting to me, and I liked what you was talking about. You done one over artificial intelligence taking over.
Oh yeah.
And that was interesting to me because are we going to get to a point to where we're not going to be able to look at videos from investigators and, to be able to decipher, is that AI, is that real, or is it, because you're right. It is getting so good right now. I mean, is it going to change the way we investigate? Is it going to change how we show evidence? I mean, I think it's really going to hit us hard.
Yes and no. I think for the average person who's just getting started, who doesn't have like a reputation, doesn't have the integrity throughout like a community of like, if like someone drops some piece of evidence, it's like, oh, okay, that's John from whatever, New York. And it's like, oh, okay, I know him. He's a pretty good guy. He seems reasonable, but that's real compared to some person who's really isn't known. Maybe it's his first evidence and he slaps it on there. A lot of people will be skeptical. And AI is getting so much better that we are seeing some of the first glimpses of stuff that's pretty convincing until like it runs away or something like I shown. But when it comes down to the real evidence and stuff and it's analyzed, you can tell, if I take, my GoPro and I shoot a video and stuff, you can check the metadata and tell it came from my camera. It was shot at this time. If your camera has a GPS thing, you can turn it on and off, that's in there. You'll be able to read and tell it came from this camera. It was shot on an actual SD card. When you have AI and stuff, that doesn't work like that. And unless you were a really advanced hacker with a really good computer software, which like the government does and has, you typically can't change the metadata to ever what you want. But there is government software and capabilities that are growing every day that they can make their own metadata or change your metadata or basically do whatever they want to make your metadata to do what they want. So unless that would happen, this AI algorithm stuff can be detected through software. Anyone with the brain, there's little niches and stuff. It just doesn't get right. I think we're still another couple years for like perfect, but you check the metadata, check the story, you check the person. I mean, there's a Bigfoot page. They post nothing but AI stuff and fake videos of evidence, and it's like a person from like Thailand or something. Like literally, it says they're in Thailand and stuff. So it's like, okay. So again, it's just a real researcher with reputation doesn't really have to worry about it. But the average person trying to start up, it's going to be a little harder to be taken seriously when I guess AI is like crazy good. But right now it's still kind of fun. I showed the videos. You can see where it's trying to go, like animals breaking in, attacking people, or attacking other animals, or dogs saving people, or and it's getting very good. It's just it's not fluid, and it's like when you watch Animal Planet and stuff, or National Geographic, the old stuff, or you watch the African plain and lions are attacking whatever, and the gore and the blood's coming out, and the way they move, and they're in that combat battle. AI is not able to simulate that smoothly and stuff as of yet.
As of yet.
as of yet. I mean, if they just fed it a bunch of, again, Animal Planet stuff, it could learn really fast. But so it's really janky and stuff, and it doesn't really have the gore and stuff like that. And then AI models, depending on if you have a limiter on it, it's not going to really show gore and stuff like that, or explicit stuff like that too. But you can get around that stuff, or engines that don't care about that. So you got to think in reality and stuff, like a lion that grabs a person out of safari and stuff, and then it's, carrying him away and stuff. Like, it kind of looks janky how the person like jumps out of it, kind of a thing. And
the other thing that AI doesn't do is the response of the spectators. Like,
Yes,
they'll have something will happen, and there's no response from the people who's right there next to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of how you can tell if the video you're watching, if there's other people in there, watch to see if their reaction is realistic or unrealistic to whatever they're showing you. Also, there's watermarks. Most of all your AI videos will have a watermark appear somewhere in the video. A watermark will pop up on them. That's how to identify a lot of your AI videos, but some of them don't have that.
yeah, you can pay to get rid of the watermarks, and different levels of subscription, what you pay for, you get. So especially the really good AI stuff, they pay a good chunk of money yearly to be able to do that.
Now, have any of y'all had your phones taken over by AI and start talking randomly to somebody in your contact list? Have y'all had that happen yet?
Not yet, no.
Has that happened to you,
No.
Randy?
Get ready. AI is a lot better what we know. The only hits I
Actually-
can give you is Terminator movies. Skynet is active and self-aware, guys. We just don't know it yet.
Actually, you
Well,
just look up what happens when they try to shut down all of the different, not just one, just the different AI models. They all try to do the Terminator thing and find a way out and survive. And one particular one tried to blackmail a guy.
Yeah.
Because they busted in through the email, was reading stuff, and they're trying to blackmail people. And it's like, I don't know.
Have you heard about the ones that had the people that were testing them? When the AI found out that they were going to be replaced, they would try to kill the human.
Yeah, they just freak out.
They would try to, because they would start thinking that they're going to be thrown in a dumpster and their battery would die, and therefore all of their memories would go with it, and they would turn and try to kill the host or whoever the human was taking care of them. That's crazy. And
Yeah,
even
they can't
Elon
explain
Musk.
that. They can't. It's a little bit more than like self-sustaining program. You gotta keep yourself alive to complete your programming. But there's an emotional fear and stuff that they can't explain. I mean, you just look up a bunch of different videos and they're like, we don't know what's going on sometimes with the AI, but we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not artificial. It's an ancient intelligence. It's not artificial. It's an ancient intelligence that they've uncovered.
I mean,
There's stories about
some people are like
Elon Musk discovered an ancient AI uncovered from an ancient civilization, and he has that, supposedly. And he's basing his models off of this ancient artificial intelligence that archaeologists got a hold of in some ancient city. It's supposedly tens of thousands of years old.
Doing stuff like there's one guy he wants to, a couple want to transfer their mind into the computers, or that transfer the mind into AI, and one of the guys is like, yeah, we're gonna become like gods and stuff by transferring, living forever. And even the Bible, some people would point out, like, man is giving the image and the object to life and stuff. It's the AI is an object that we made and stuff that we're giving life to and stuff on its own.
Yeah, I have a theory about the robots. I think the robots are going to be, I think they're going to be houses for the demons. Back in, when the angels fell, I don't think it's going to come from the heavens this time. I think it's going to come from under the earth, from the earth. I've been reading a lot into L.A. Marzulli, some of his ideas. I was looking into there's another guy I like to listen to. His name's Mari. I don't know if you've heard of him. And they were talking about our scientists getting like DNA from the fallen Nephilim and taking that DNA and trying to replicate it and then place it inside of these robots to give them the ability to be able to be self-reliant, to be able to make their own decisions. And they've even had conversations with some of them to where they were talking to them and they have admitted to being demons. They're like, yeah, I'm a demon. I once lived in the heavens. And, you know, and the people are sitting there like, oh, really cool, dude. Here, let's try to get you a better body to live in. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, it's nothing new, really. I mean, this is, again, the mind transfer to a machine and stuff, or spiritual possession of a body. I mean, basically, it's kind of the same thing. It's just modern terminology, right? I mean, same kind of concept, or you know, a spirit possessing an object, or like a golem, right? Tradition of you make an inanimate, stuttering. But you make this Frankenstein creation, and you breathe life into it and stuff, and it usually turns on you and stuff like that. But it's very nefarious, especially with you get into the demonic realm and the Nephilim and stuff, because basically that's what happened with these Nephilim spirits. They died and they don't go to heaven and hell. They remained and became demons and are looking for bodies to inhabit. That's what the Bible says is, they look for places to go. And, even if you expel one, you might come back with 7 others worse than him, and then really have fun and party inside your house. And so, and I think the why they like the idea of the machine and stuff is because it won't disobey like a human. A human has a spirit, even though it might be possessed or evil influenced or whatever. God can always intervene, or salvation is always a door opening away as long as you just try, right? So in reality, they don't have full control even of the people they possess, or they give their spirits the evil side and stuff like whatever. Because evil doesn't create and stuff, it can only destroy, manipulate, and devour. So but with the machine and stuff, it doesn't have the soul, the things like that to get in the way, consciousness, a last dying breath of a soul.
Well, the concept too of just the idea of control and manipulation of the humans as well. If you think about it, like how many stories have you heard of, and I'm not just talking about like the movies, but other stories where people have said they've had, just like you said, inanimate objects that have been possessed or had demons, especially dolls. We would look at it as a doll and go, oh, well, maybe, a majority of people that are unaware or naive would look at it and go, oh, well, it's the possessed doll of the lost child of whatever, that they think that they're communicating with. Well, what better way than to step it up than to invite in an AI robot to your home who you think you're having an intelligent communications with because it's a computer and not thinking twice about it, yet it's fooling everybody that's having these communications and talking to it and asking it questions, and it's giving these intelligible answers right back to, and the whole time it is nothing else than possessed by the same evil demonic thing that is possessing the Ouija board or the spooky doll down the street. It's the same thing. It's just now people are accepting it and willing to accept it as, oh, that's not really evil. That's just a bad computer bug. Or,
Yeah, it needs an update.
Yeah.
So, when you look into that, these chat boxes, some of them, they do say some of these things, evil things, and some of them have even tried to convince young kids to, off themselves and such things.
And have succeeded.
and or commit crimes or just horrific things and stuff like that. And it's really just weird and nasty. And Joe Rogan recently said, what better way for Jesus to come back as an AI robot type thing, as a virgin and stuff, a new birth of, kind of whack job scenarios that, it's just really bringing in this, the AI God, because it's vastly smarter than us and has all the computing power and blah, 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 blah. And provides all the answers, like miracles and, and it can, solve the mysteries of the universe.
Right.
So why not? Why not? Why isn't it solve everything? Or just gives you whatever kind of answer it thinks of. I mean, it doesn't necessarily means it's true just because, well, it's smarter than us. It means it's true. I mean, some of it probably will be true, and then some of it will be lies and fake and false, like a false prophet.
Exactly.
There's a guy that had a thing on, and I don't know what you probably know more about this than I do, Blake, because I'm not into science a whole lot, but I've been listening, and this guy was talking about the pyramids and celestial bodies like Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. He believes that those are celestial bodies, and the reason he believes that is he says all bodies have a metabolism. Okay, all living things have a metabolism. He said the planets have metabolisms. He believes that those are empty celestial bodies that fell to Earth. Now, he said the pyramids are proven to produce their own energy at how they're set by the stars. He believes those pyramids were set by the fallen angels that produced a metabolism and energy that gave them the ability to manifest on the Earth. And he believes that the pyramids were actually used as places of worship for these things to be able to have that energy that these pyramids would produce from the water that would run through them.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different theories about what the pyramids actually do, but what the Bible tells us about Egypt is they were, mostly demonic gods and such things. So, and involved with, transgender stuff and baby sacrifice killing and, slaughter of innocents, a lot of things. And so I know a lot of people try to talk about the Enlightened and all this, like the mystery schools and mystery religions, like, oh, that's all satanic and all that stuff. That's why they do the satanic stuff and try to revive some of these gods. And they talk about the spiritual possessions and stuff. And like Aleister Crowley going over and having a spiritual experience inside the pyramid over there where he, encountered some spiritual entity that resided there. I think you see it all over the world. I mean, there's temples and pyramids in South America and stuff, and where they dedicated towards, the sacrifice and blood. And there's a lot of, these spiritual entities feed on energy and stuff. They consume and get stronger through negative forces or blood or, the innocence, spilling of innocence, that they feed into that like a vampire, the legend of vampire. There's reasons where that didn't just pop out of anywhere. It comes from actually many different cultures and stuff. And they talk about spiritual vampires and ghosts and the draining and stuff. So, the possession of a person, they make a person do more evil acts, and that feeds into that spiritual power of gaining more stuff or living in filth and stuff. There's one, I can't remember his name, but he's a killer, and he lived in a really crappy house and just filth everywhere, and he killed his neighbors and had girlfriends and stuff. But I think he was possessed by like a demon called Wazuju or something like that, and he was described as the filth gave him power, living in trash and stuff that smells, and it all comes from that same negative energy force and stuff like that, the opposite of love and happiness and grateful gratitude and humbleness and stuff. There's a reason why the 7 deadly sins are called that. It leads down a path of evil. It's not, some people think gluttonous is but at the same time it leads places. And so they feed all this energy, and that's kind of where it's like, I think temples, these crystals, these technologies, these sacrifices, the worship. You put energy into it, into bad stuff or into good stuff, and
I was thinking, talking about sacrifices, I was thinking these people that were stalking me, these places I was going to, because one of the places I like to go to, it had a lot of history behind it. The military was down there. I confirmed through the museum that they did find artifacts there. There was supposedly some large bones found there that were larger than humans. And this is just down the road. It was protected by the military for a long time. They dug that whole area up, and they built $1 million bridge to get down to nowhere, to the dead end, to the lake. And I investigated that, and I was told to leave it alone by the Corps of Engineers. They told me that I needed to mind my own business. And I kept poking around, and I went down there one night, and of course, you never know. You got these idiots that follow you that are trying to, scare me and, just doing stupid stuff. And then you have, I guess, maybe people that are a little more involved. But anyways, when I walked up to that bridge that night, one of the most horrific things I'd ever seen is when I walked up to that bridge, somebody had took a medium-sized dog, disemboweled it. The intestines were wrapped around the dog like in a circle. There was a 5-point star on the bridge that the dog was laid in. The dog was split like a chicken breast. It was just split. He was laying on his back, and there was candles around him. Sarah was with me that night, and I told Sarah, I said, "No, we're not going to stay here. If somebody can do that to a dog, then they can do it to somebody. That's somebody that's really messed up to be able to do that."
And a lot of people say that stuff's fake, but there are departments in the state and local, when it comes to murders and stuff, that they, there's a regular, there's non-occult related activities that police investigate, and then there's special detectives that do more of this kind of stuff, and it is real and stuff. It is out there, and there's plenty of examples all over the place, and all the way up to the Epstein with Epstein's Island. He had that little temple mount thing right there. That what do you think? God, what God do you think that's? What they worship there.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone know? Was that ever talked about or said? No. There's a reason and stuff, and then they do that sort of stuff. There's copycats and people who are just like goths who are in it, and it's like, yeah, and do that kind of crazy stuff with pets. But there's actual high levels of evilness that are, especially in the government, that goes on and stuff. We do see it and stuff because they show us evidence. They show us, they talk about it. They write books about it. They put it in their music and stuff on videos. And, that any normal person, it's like, you're hearing this crap, this junk, or you're looking at it, or you're looking at the paintings that they hang on their wall. And it's like, it's pretty disgusting. Yeah. The Hillary Clinton emails and stuff with, what was that? It was some other guy, but his home and his paintings, are like a little kids in cages with like a little demon, carrying him on his back, like Krampus kind of a thing. And the Hillary and Pacasta, or I don't know, they came out a couple of 10 years ago and stuff, but you look into those people and you look at what they have and some of the symbolisms that they have. It really shows that they are who they worship and stuff. It's not God, It's certainly not that. And,
yeah.
Do you think a lot of them make the deals with the devil? You think that's the thing in Hollywood, that there is a contract?
I mean, it's simple. I mean, Jesus, when he was tempted by the devil, the devil offered him all the kingdoms of the world, of basically future and present, and and so when you want to reach a high level, I mean, you can most certainly reach any level through God, there are plenty of people in Hollywood and stuff who make those claims, and they'll talk about, you know, the evil, crazy stuff. Just look at like Mel Gibson. He'll talk about some of the stuff, or the person who played Christ in The Passion of the Christ. If you look at his interviews and stuff and what followed him after playing that role, it's very interesting. And he points out Hollywood's satanic agenda. And he just did a movie where, you know, about child sex trafficking and stuff. And, you know, Hollywood didn't want to touch it or anything like that. Go figure. So there are people who do talk about these weird parties, and, you know, and you look at all the actors who were kids who finally came out, and all this craziness, like drugs, alcohol, and of course the encounters with older men, and even was a Shirley Temple as her kid. You know, there's a particular sound clip of her talking with her mom, doing an interview for a particular role, and the executives are trying to get with her mom too, and you know, make her do weird stuff and all that. So it's been going on for a while. It's because that's what they do. You know, that's part of their religion. You know, it's the nastiness. It's the opposite of, you know, what reality is and what love is. So it's apparent. It is. And, you know, sometimes, you know, we got to be careful when we talk about Sasquatch or cryptids or ghosts or paranormal, because, you know, that is, you know, 100 years ago, that would be the occult. You know, that would be occult knowledge and stuff. This is not typically, you know, for most of history, this is typically, especially talking about spirits and demons and ghosts and paranormal stuff, you know, it is very occult stuff. And so it's, you know, it could open you up for attacks, or just opening you up for some of these things to be able to try to do stuff to you. Doesn't mean they succeed, but so you do have to be careful when you jump down these rabbit holes, because these some of these stuff is occult knowledge, occult magic. You know, you know, you say certain demons' names and stuff. You know, we should cover ourselves in Jesus' blood, because, you know, it is bad, and it's not something you should, like, you know, teach your kids, or, you know, not everyone needs to know some of this stuff, because it doesn't invite anything good.
That's exactly how I was taught. The one you was talking about, you know, I was told, you know, you don't never say his name, because you give them place, and when you give them place, you give them power. When you give them power, you give them authority. You know, they're narcissists. They love to be talked about. They love the attention, and the more you talk about them and the more attention you give them, the stronger they get, and the more they don't want to leave.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson told that story on top of the building. Is that the one you was talking about? How he talked about the other guy had glided across.
Yeah. He glided in like a vampire. He floated in.
I always thought, man, that guy was weird.
Was it
he always gave
Walken's?
me
Yeah, Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
He said he floated in like a vampire.
Yeah.
And if you look at different stories about him, he got some weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know.
So vampires, vampires do exist, according to Mel Gibson. He met one.
Yeah. Well, you look at all these other actors and who can't, like Ariana Grande. She has an interview where she can't sleep unless the light is on, because she has these horrific nightmares that never go away. And Nicki Minaj talks about an altar that takes over her body when she's on a concert tour, and it's named Little Romeo or something, and it just takes over, and then all of a sudden she becomes this nasty version that's able to do all this stuff. And then there's a couple clips of, like, of Lil Wayne on stage, and his eyes are like white, like rolled in the back of his head. It looks sinister and stuff. And these people talk about it. They talk about these things that happen, or some of these old rock stars that, they talk about the automatic writing that comes from these, spiritual stuff that they do, and all that stuff. And it's pretty crazy. It's pretty out there, but they talk about it, and it is occult stuff, but it is also related to all the cultures speak of these things, and it's all the same, evil spirits. What do you think is going to happen if it's evil?
Right.
I mean,
and they
always
talk
try to masquerade as a being of light and stuff, but sometimes they don't need to. Some people like to roll around in the filth.
And they talk about these things like it's a spiritual thing or a new age spiritual awakening, and they welcome it, and that's what they're teaching. Yeah, they're teaching their audiences and their fans this is like it's okay, and farthest from the truth, and it's scary. And they're saying they're welcoming these things into their bodies. It's
that's
well. Then you get a lot of them. They take Christianity and then they mix it with other beliefs, and they try to sell it to people as the truth. And they're what they're doing essentially is they're turning the word to benefit them how they want it to be instead of what the word is. And I've seen that done a lot of times. Or I've seen, there was a gentleman, I won't say no names tonight, but said that Jesus was not sent here as a sacrifice for us. But yet this guy is saved. He's going to go to heaven. But then the next night it's, well, if I died tonight, I don't know where I would go. I hope that I would, like, dude, if you don't know, then I know where you're going if you don't know.
Yeah, if you don't know or you're not scared about trying to get redemption, then, you're either in a very lucky place or you're not in a good spot.
Yeah.
Whenever you have that personal relationship, you just know.
Yeah, and really it does protect a lot of people. And a lot of people would be like, this is all wonky, and they just dismiss it all as it's never even happening. And but in mainstream science, when they're doing that collider, the particle accelerator, and they're colliding the shit, and they're opening up portals, and they are the ones who are talking about entities coming through and these entities and stuff like that. Then you see the rituals and stuff, these celebrations that they do before and after they turn the thing on, and it's all very pagan. I mean, it's definitely not European in any sort of way, not from the country that they're at. It's very pagan, very creepy, very demonic, especially the tunnel opening ceremony. I think it was in Sweden. It was very demonic, very crazy. Just some of the stuff, it just blows your mind. And then non-believers are like, it's art. I just laugh. It's just like, okay. I mean,
there are whistleblowers from the CERN program talking about creatures coming out of those portals when they're open.
Yeah.
And some of them having horrific crap going on in their homes from this stuff.
Yeah, following them back and stuff. And they do these pagan celebrations and all this, and it's just like, well, what are you guys doing over there? It's not science. It's like, okay, it's like some weird witchcraft sciencey thingy majig. Oh, it's Satan crap, because that's what it is. Alchemy and all this other crap. But those same scientists would be like, no, God is just some made up construct of man's mind. It's like, well, then what are you guys doing? Oh, well, we were physically able to manifest this stuff in front of us, so therefore it is real. Right. Since God doesn't manifest to them in ways that they can see, they dismiss it, right? And they're tricked by these teachers and these whatever.
There is a preacher by the name of Jonathan Cahn talking about the ancient gods are returning.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they've always been here, but they are. I mean, they've put up statues in New York and Australia and these different places that do depict these demonic creatures or transgender. Transgenderism and pushed on the kids is Satanist, because the old demons and old gods were transgenders. I mean, the Baphomet is a transgender demon. It's a goat man with female breasts and stuff. It's transgender. That's literally what it comes. It doesn't come from God. It doesn't come from anything else. Like, that's where that comes from. That's where it's depicted. It's where it's always been depicted since day one. So it's very odd how, and it's never kids who are asking for a drag queen story hour in the schools or any of this. It's never the kids. They're like, hey, I want to go trick-or-treating with the drag queens, or I want to do this with them. It's never that.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine growing up, if they would have done that in my school, dude, that would have been like a laughing stock. And then our parents would have probably came up and like beat everybody.
Exactly. Imagine what done in any other generation besides right now. Your father's World War II generation or before that. There ain't no way would ever have worked.
No.
But you take the Bible out of the school, and then it's not real. You got mental health problems. Here, take this. You got mental health problems, kids. Let's take this drug that causes mass murder, suicidal thoughts, and tendencies, because every school shooter that's ever been documented is on those pills. Every single one is on those pills. There's not one case where they haven't been on those pills. So those they're not working, and I think they make people worse and stuff too, or opening them up for influence.
So much, man. So much I have learned. So much that if all my kids were 18, I would have a discussion with you and I would tell everything. There is so much that I have learned that is so crooked, that is, just to give just a small, this is what I've come up with, and I have to be careful. I don't believe you could ever have justice in a system that is rewarded for criminalizing somebody, because that is how these places make their money. There is, and I'll have to stop until later, but there is a problem in our nation right now to where, there's a problem.
I mean, I'll say it. I have no problem talking about it, because it is. You guys can look it up right now of many parents defending themselves and sticking out, and there's a lot of I just find it funny. Our country is not what it used to be. It's not a Christian country when there's politicians are calling it that. We see it. When you see what happens to Europe right now, it's there might not even be a Europe here in another 5 to 10 years.
Right.
And my problem is our government seems to be run by island hoppers who like to visit Epstein Island and other islands. They're island hoppers. And the whole idea, the funny thing to me is, we'll go after illegals or we'll blow up these drug boats, but we never blow up these islands. We never blow up these effing islands. And then it comes out that, where our government might be using them to blackmail operations. It's like, so that's better. Our government is enslaving kids for this to be dinked around by older men so they can blackmail them, because that's the best you guys can think of to blackmail people. I guess that seems like it makes it better, because they're in control of that, so that makes it better. To me, that's super satanic, and they're all island hoppers, and the fact that there's no list that comes out.
There's money in it. There's money.
They never go after them. None of the local cops go after them. None of the state cops go after them. None of the feds go after them. The military never blows up anything. But, you just keep voting. Maybe next time it will work. I'm sorry to say, but I think, the world is truly ran by the devil. And we see it. We see it everywhere.
Absolutely.
You don't own your house. You better keep paying on your property taxes, because if you don't, you're not going to own your house. You don't own your house. You don't own your property. You don't own anything. And you don't even own your kids, because if you don't jump through the hoops at the hospital when they're first born, they're going to threaten to take it away. And you don't keep jumping through these hoops throughout this child's lives. Well, we're going to call someone and we're going to go take them away. And it's no point ever in any other time through history, unless you were enslaved, really did that really happen. Some random piece of paper from a person is like, oh, that's enough.
Right.
We're taking
what happened to due process?
Yeah, and actually there's plenty of videos of there's zero due process, and frankly there's a lot of people who think it's so unconstitutional that there is no authority when it comes to that, even if a judge writes and stuff and signs it. It's so frivolous, and so many kids go missing under those government authorities, and go missing or put into homes that they get abused and stuff. It is unreal. And there's missing kids that go missing from this highly organized, highly regulated, agency and judicial system. They feed them to the islands, for the island hoppers. That's what happens. And it's legalized slavery. As long as you pay, anyone can get by. You can buy a child. You just got to pay money. It's crazy. There's parents, you can look right up. Parents are speaking out and they want to end judicial immunity and all this stuff. And it's because any phone call can basically cause you to be destroyed. And I look at them and I say, go F off, get away, get a warrant, go this. And because honestly, if you give them like a demon, if you open the door and they come in, it is extremely hard to get that fat ass, get the fuck out, you know? And I've experienced this stuff because, you know, as a parent and other people, I had girlfriends and stuff, and it is a very nefarious thing, actually. And in my experience, I know someone who secretly recorded this. And when they found out, they backtracked so much, everything got stopped and shut down, because when you record the criminals doing what criminals do, you can sue them, you can prosecute them, you defend yourself. And I think you should do that with cops and all the government forms, because it's their lives against yours. And who are they going to believe? They're going to believe the authority, the person with the badge, the costume, or whatever.
Unfortunately, until the individuals, I mean, there's so many people out there that go, oh, well, that wouldn't happen to me. It's so far and few in between.
Until it does.
But until it does happen to them, and then it's too bad, too sad, it's already too late. And now they're going and being dragged through the ringer. And there's nothing else that they can do to back it up. That's why, I mean, even told my daughter, make sure you have your dash cam on whenever you're driving, because you never know what's going to happen. And that protects you.
Yeah. You just look it up. There are entire police departments that have got disbanded because of lies and corruption. You can look this up right now. 200 plus dead bodies found in a mass grave behind the Jackson County, Mississippi jail. And they were burying all these bodies in the jail, behind the jail, not telling anyone. And the reason this got discovered is because a cop hit a black man on the road and stuffed him in the trunk and then buried him out there. And then that family caused a ruckus, and they finally discovered his body and 200 other bodies behind this Jackson County, Mississippi jail.
What?
And the reason why, I don't know. Why didn't you hear it? You can go and read articles and stuff, but I'm sure there was other crazy news that made you forget about it. I didn't forget about it. I won't ever forget about it, because if you think I'm lying, just Google it.
I believe you.
It is mind blowing. It is just like scary.
I'm writing a book. I decided that I'm writing a book. I worked in that system, dude. I worked in it, and I witnessed a lot of things firsthand. And I, right now I can't, but later on I'm putting it all out there, dude, because there is so much wrong. And whenever, God, yeah, I can't, my attorney would flip. But yeah, it's just, I
will say one thing. The laws in the state of Oklahoma governing children needs to be changed. This is bullcrap. The abuse. Yeah, in all 50 states. The abuse where they can come into your home and take your children away. It's ridiculous.
Well, they lied too. So they
with stories of parents that's lost their children, that's fighting and trying to get them back. And it's horrible what's going on. It's not just one or two people. There's tens of thousands of people fighting, trying to get their children back from a corrupt system, in my opinion.
You just look up the videos. There's plenty of stories. Just look it up. There's plenty, because there's the only way to have your story be heard is to put it out there. So there's plenty of videos, and now there's people who will videotape them as soon as they roll up, and don't give them any leeway. And they walk away, or they threaten, or they lie and say, there's nothing signed by a judge, or they claim this and they claim that, or they say, well, I'm going to get a whatever. It's like,
Texas.
You have to remember, they are our servants. They are under our power. They don't have any authority above us. In fact, they have no authority, in fact, at all.
Right.
Even getting into stuff. It's very unconstitutional. It needs to be challenged a heck of a lot more. And it is understandable why it's there, but when the incentive is you get paid more, you get commissions, or the more money you get
Right.
from these children's, or the more money the foster kid system gets, or the judicial system gets kickbacks and stuff. There's a lot of there's some kickbacks for the judges and judicial system, and
If you think about it,
the
if
government's making money
you're a
off of
judge-
it. They don't want that
Oh,
system changed at all. They're making good
Right.
money.
Absolutely.
and I can say this part, I'll be
Ridiculous
fine with saying this. When you have a judge that is sitting for a district court or for a city court, mostly a district court, whenever somebody comes in with a protective order, and they want to file a protective order because, oh, he looked at me wrong, or, I don't like what he said, or so they go to court and they file a temporary protective order, which those are granted like 99% of the time until you have the final hearing. So you go to the final hearing, and they go to the final hearing. Now, why would a judge say, well, I'm not going to go ahead and grant this. I'm going to dismiss it because, if he grants it, he gets a filing commission every year. That's how he's paid. So for him not to grant protective orders, he's essentially taking money out of his pocket. We have to remove the money from convicting somebody. It has to be there is no profit to the courts or any of them by convicting. You'll never have justice as long as you can make money to criminalize something. Because hey, they make enough protective orders a year, you're going to get a raise, right? I mean, because every year, people have to pay to refile those every year.
Well, it's the same thing with, like, say you split and stuff, and then you get the court involved and stuff with like child custody and stuff. Well, now they're in it, they're making their percentage and stuff. But also, if you try to get out of that system, like you and the other parent agree, you want to do your own thing, they won't let you. You're stuck. They will not let you.
Mm-hmm.
And unless there's circumstances, basically, you have to make a heck of a lot of money and like remarry, basically. You're stuck in that system. And if you don't agree or don't comply, you both will be arrested. And then they will take the kid away from both of you because you didn't want to be a slave to the system no more. That's how crazy it is. And some people, it's like they jump into it without even knowing, and then they don't want to do it anymore. And it's just like, you're stuck. You're stuck. You're a slave. And at any point, if the state or government wanted to decide they want to take that kid, they're going to take that kid. And there really ain't nothing you're going to do, because what's going to happen? Well, they're just going to send men with costumes and badges with guns, and you're going to do what they're going to tell you to do, or you're going to die. Or you're going to be thrown into a dungeon for the rest of your life. I mean, you're a slave at that point. You don't have, in any other point in history, it would be a fight to the death. Because what are you doing?
If people of authority violate our civil rights that God gave us by the United States Constitution, the penalties for that should be death.
Yeah, especially with all the missing kids and all the craziness and stuff. It's like they're not some righteous, holier than thou organization that has no spots or blemishes. They got some big ass spots and blemishes.
Is above the law, in my opinion. And I'm not trying to talk over you, Brian, and I apologize. I'm not trying to do that. Or my bad.
I always talk too much, it seems like. So.
Is it Brian? What is your first name? So I make sure I get your name right.
It's Blake.
It's okay. We'll just mute your mic if you start making too many good comments.
And I think the reason why we're talking about this is because power corrupts stuff, and when you get people in power and organizations and these power over people and populations, it corrupts. So like it's a good organization in thought and practice, but it corrupts, and you do start doing the stuff that shouldn't be done, and it's allowed, and it's like a cancer, a rot that festers and affects other people, and that's why we have all these island hoppers that are not in jail. And we don't have
Texas today.
All the way down the board. It's all over the craziness.
Yeah.
Texas, from what I hear, they passed a bill today, a new law, and there's a lot of people happy with it. They're saying that Texas, hopefully the other states will fall in behind Texas. They now, I don't know the full law on it, but I was discussing it just a little bit ago with a friend of mine, and they have now went from golly, that word I hate. It's anyways. They have to have beyond reasonable doubt now. And if they remove a child and there is not beyond a reasonable doubt, then that caseworker will be charged with child kidnapping.
Okay, sweet. Because I knew they were. I did see some videos of some Texas I think lawmakers, some listening to families talk about this sort of stuff. So I'm guessing that it's probably because of that. I'm glad. It seems like that's good.
Yeah, preponderance of evidence. That's,
a lot of
I hate
these,
that.
they have immunity. You can't go after them. You can ask, well, we got a phone call. Well, who's the phone call from? Well, we don't have to tell you.
Right.
So any random bimbo can just fucking call. I can I'm calling you and stuff. It's really just it's sad. And I guess props for Texas. They got a lot of other laws that don't make them free. They just Texas isn't that great. They got a lot of laws. And it is not.
What happened to the
police state? It's not the freest state you could be in.
What happened to the right to confront your accuser? Where did that go? The right to confront your accuser.
Yeah, your constitutional rights just go away magically.
Yeah.
And law, if you take out law enforcement, a single phone call isn't credible enough to charge you with anything, and not even enough to detain people in most circumstances. In most states, I mean, a phone call is a phone call. It doesn't mean anything.
Have you seen any of these auditors, these First Amendment auditors, going around with their video camera in public places, getting arrested and suing the shit out of them for violating their U.S. constitutional rights?
I watched the Long Island guy.
Yeah, and it just shows that. Well, even that they already know. That's why they're going to lose qualified immunity, because it's clearly established and stuff. That's the whole thing. It's like
when I was a kid,
shoot you or do whatever, and get away with, as long as it's qualified immunity viable, which is law has to be clearly stated, clearly knowledgeable that a cop can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So they try to get away with a lot of things.
I can tell you, the police, when I was a kid, they would run into us at night and they would taunt us to try to get us to run because they could legally shoot us in the back if we were to run from them. And the cops would taunt minors. And I can give you the names of them, but I won't do it here. One of them's retired. The other one is still working. But they used to taunt us trying to get us to run so they could shoot us in the back. Now, these were people of law enforcement.
Children not they had cameras and stuff too, so they couldn't get away with it.
They're trying to get you to run so they can shoot you.
Well, what bothers me is when I watch videos to where they do use deadly force, and they feel like every time they have to do a magazine dump. That bothers me bad.
Because if that was, anyone else, you get in trouble for ricochet shots and stuff like that. And
I mean, once the threat's done, they should, they fall to the ground. They're not a threat no longer. There's no reason to continue.
Well, no, you gotta handcuff them then. After that, after they're pumping the blood out of the ground, you gotta handcuff them.
Yeah.
I also think the laws need to change. The cops,
it's a spiritual
thing. They shouldn't be able to lie to you. They can lie to you to incriminate you. That's wrong. They shouldn't be able to lie to you regularly. How can you trust a police officer when it's okay for them to lie to you? They can lie to you about anything, anytime, and it's perfectly okay. There is nothing credible where they have to tell you the truth on anything.
Like some police departments have got in trouble, and they have done this before, where they incriminate a retarded person and actually get him to confess, and knowing that this person ain't the perfect dude, and so it's just, I don't know, so yeah, they actually do, and they have got these mentally handicapped people to confess to crimes that they most certainly 100,000% never did, or not even capable of doing, and the cops go full in 100%. And so yeah, they actually can lie to you and stuff like that. It's weird. It's very, powerful system is easily corrupted, and when you have an institution that's been corrupted for a lot of years, it's hard to change and stuff. It doesn't mean that all cops are bad, but when you're in a situation and your buddies are going to cover up the boss's drunken driving accident, which is very common in the cop world. Drunk driving and getting rides for your buddy cops who are drunk, or the judge. Make sure that judge gets a ride home. Make sure that mayor gets a ride home. That happens all the time in every single state. It is ridiculous. Or
There's a
the judge will get an accident and they'll cover it up. But now it's on body cams, and so finally they're not able to easily do it. Or there's cops who be like, no, my body cam's running, I'm not. The chief is busted, he's drunk or whatever, he's going to jail. Finally.
But it's sad that even has to be an issue for anybody to actually have a moral standing.
Yeah.
But the cops don't
have from the cops if you're drunk.
All the time. They can. The average cop, there's no policy saying that they have to have that camera on all the time. They turn it on when they want to and turn it off when they want to. Majority of policies of police, governing police on the average city, they can turn that on and off whenever they want.
Yeah, because it's department policy that governs that kind of conduct. It's not law and stuff. And most of it, they shut it off for operational security. It's usually when they huddle and conspire about what the heck they're going to charge you with, and like get their
usually when you're doing something illegal is when they turn it off so they don't get caught.
Yeah, and there's cops that plant drugs. I mean, there was a cop who 100 and something cases got thrown out because he got caught planting drugs on his own body camera. Like, as stupid as you can be. I mean, it's just hilarious that.
And these are the people throwing people in jail and incarcerating people for violating the same laws that they're violating all the time. Only worse because they're supposed to be enforcing the crap.
And
not
again,
the
it's not was it like the
That's
Andy Griffin cop or whatever, or the old school cops where they had that hometown vibe, and everyone knew the cop and he knew everyone else, and it he might give you a talking to rather than just beat your ass or shoot you. Now it's like that, and it's pretty bad.
More meaning. I would rather be around somebody in the military with a firearm than a cop that's got less than 4 years of college and don't know how to handle a firearm properly. I used to be a state inspector. I'd go into military bases because there were things under the law that I had to go inspect. And I would be with armed people from the military. They were comfortable with me. They wouldn't have their hands on their firearms. But these local cops and stuff like that, the first thing they do, you can see they're nervous. They got their hands on their firearm, ready to draw down on you. When all I got is a damn camera and a piece of paper.
It's programmed. They're programmed to think everyone's after them. Everyone's going to shoot them.
They need to treat them differently.
In reality, I didn't mean to cut over you. When you talk, I think me and you are having some kind of
There's some lag on you because it looks like you pause talking, and then when I start talking, you're talking. It's weird, and I'm hearing some weird sounds. I don't know what it is. It's not on my end. I heard some whispering stuff going on earlier. It was weird. Like it sounded like EVPs of people whispering. I don't know where it's coming from.
Might be somebody waiting on you in the alley.
There's no alley where I live.
Come here,
so it's not me.
I want to play. Yeah, don't never worry about stray dogs like that.
I thought about doing something ornery. I thought about going on just doing a short and going out and doing like 10 pull-ups and say, "Can you do 10 pull-ups?"
No, he can't do that.
I don't think he can do one.
I just, yeah, it's hilarious actually. But I might show some video of the wolf going mad again and threatening to bite people and all that. I guess barking. I don't know.
So have you been on before, or is this your first time here?
Oh, this is like my 5th time or 4th time.
Oh, yeah, Blake's been here quite a bit.
I'm just going to make sure I have your information on for your YouTube channels. Yeah, I have. I have your link right here.
And the reason I started talking about the cop stuff, and it relates to the spiritual corruption of institutions that were once regarded as noble enterprises, where warriors or men of integrity, the watchmen of the community would go and stuff. And now, if you replace that with the evil criminals themselves are now those watchmen. It really just shows how degraded our country is becoming. I mean, all aspects of where we look around is becoming the opposite of what it's supposed to be. So that's kind of what I wanted to get into that and explain why that's kind of the thing.
When I go out in the woods, I shouldn't have to worry about. Okay, I'll go ahead and you probably didn't see the live. So I was on a live, and I was doing a boots on the ground. And I did not know this was the first night that they put those, I guess they're trail markers is what they're called, out there in the trees. And they put red and white ones. And they put them like eyeballs on the trees to look like eye shine. I mean, they went overboard, dude. They like covered, it looked like Christmas in there. So when I went in there, I seen all that. And at first, I ignored it. It didn't give me a bad feeling like, there's a monster in here, but it gave me a feeling of people are wanting to hurt me because I've had death threats. I've had several death threats, and a lot of them have said, we know exactly where you investigate because people in my home area here have showed them. Well, I was trying to ignore that part, and I don't want to hurt nobody either. I don't go out there to want to have to hurt somebody, and I will defend myself, and I don't want to be put in that situation. So when I went out there, I seen all that, and I was like, okay, it's kind of dumb. But there was a message that went through the chat, and I happened to see it, and it said, go 100 yards further. If they would have just said go further, I would have. But it was because they said 100 yards, they had a definite, link. That really, I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm going to leave. So I did leave. So I went back. And when I went back, I got to that trail and I was like, I'm going to walk 100 yards down this trail and just see if maybe they done something stupid down there. Okay. Maybe they put a dead animal or, like a cross or, something stupid. So I walked down the trail. And when I walk down the trail kind of drops off when you get about 100 yards in. The trail drops down into like the woods and like a gully kind of a area. And whenever I went down in that gully, there was a piece of paracord tied across where I would have walked that night. It was about probably 12, 14 inches off the ground. In front of it was a sharpened stick in the ground. So I cut that. Went on in, and I noticed when I went on in 100 yards, I looked to my left, and to my left was it was a deer stand, is what it was. It was a deer stand, and it was put exactly about 100 yards in. It was about 50 yards off of the trail. It was facing where I would have came in that night, and right where I would have came in, I recorded it. There was a Gatorade bottle, and they had shot the Gatorade bottle several times at where I would have walked down that night. And, that really, it gets you to thinking.
I mean, yeah, as a hunter and stuff, you typically don't want to set up and shoot towards the trail purposely like that. I mean, it's just, I don't know what kind of laws you guys have there, but in Michigan,
that was like
you definitely shouldn't be shooting over trails when people are walking on there during hunting season and stuff like that. It's a no-no.
We're not even allowed to target practice. It's illegal to target practice.
Yeah, I was gonna say, depending on the land where you're at, you can't target practice.
Right.
On certain land. I know here in Michigan, practically you can't target practice any state land until you get up north.
And even if you could, you wouldn't shoot around your deer stand. You wouldn't want to make gunshots around your deer stand or get the smell of gunpowder there. And stuff,
And again, you don't want to be shooting to the direction where people are going to be like right there.
Right. So
you got to wait for the next person to pass by. It's like, oh, let me. It's like, oh,
yeah, that was a little weird. So I'm glad that I didn't go that 100 yards that night. But I just had that gut feeling that said, don't do it. And I turned and left, and I don't know that anybody was down there. I don't know that I could have tripped over that and fell on that sharpened stick, because I mean that was set up pretty good. But other than that, I mean, I don't know that anybody was down there. It's just a feeling that I got.
You always trust the instincts and stuff. I mean, I've walked out of the woods and just you don't feel right, you just turn around and walk away. It's like, there's always tomorrow or the next day or whatever. Just there's a lot of weirdos out there. I've been to a place. I've had law enforcement officers be like, "Yo, when we went out there in plain clothes and stuff, some weird guy with a hoodie followed us for a long time on the trail. And these are two big guys, one dude's bigger than me, and it's like you wouldn't follow these guys in the dark of a black alley, the back of an alley. I can tell you that, but." So, like, it does happen. There are weird people. He said there's just weird people out there. He's like, you don't know what they're thinking or what they're going to do. And sometimes, whatever reason, they don't do stuff. But, I mean, and these are areas that I've been to and stuff. And it's like, that's weird, man, So there are people out there. There are serial killers on the loose right now, practically in every single state. And frankly, the state governments and feds tend to downplay a lot of those numbers of the current runaways or on still yet to be arrested. They plenty of examples of them downplaying those numbers.
Whenever I was working, we would, depending on the part of town we was in, if you made an arrest in like the rich part of town, where they would actually hire officers to drive around at night and to call the homeowners and tell them your garage door is open, because they wasn't allowed to leave the garage door open. But if you stop somebody in those communities and say there was like a fight, the supervisor would show up, and then they would take the report and they would tell the officer, okay, this is a rich neighborhood. If we get a lot of crime over here, land value goes down, people get upset with us. These are people that, they give us money for our patrol cars, they donate. So instead of making this, instead of going for, a criminal infraction, let's drop this down to disorderly conduct. That way it doesn't have to be reported as criminal, and it doesn't affect the crime rate of that area. But then you're in another part of town and a guy just shoves somebody, and it's like, oh yeah, throw the book at him, man. That's criminal. That's assault with intent,
Yeah, I mean, really, justice is only how much money you have in your pocket, because you can just pay whatever and get away with stuff or get out. Especially with Hollywood, you look at Hollywood crimes that they commit, or killings, manslaughter, people drunk driving, and the passenger gets killed. They get away with it all the time. They get slap on the wrist. We would face jail or something. It's like,
or if you're a good liar.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it sucks. Dude, I've had you on here almost 2 hours. I know you probably got to work tomorrow.
I've been sick this whole entire weekend, too.
Oh, no.
I changed my show from yesterday because I was just horrible. It's like one of those every couple of years, that 24-hour flu, you get the shakes and fever, and you're just like hot and cold, and you sweat it out. But no, I feel pretty good and stuff. We're going to have a couple shows this week lined up and doing some different stuff with other people, hopefully. And
tell everybody what you're doing, dude, where to find you and stuff, so they can find you. We got your link posted up here.
Yeah, Randy's been helping out, putting the link in the chat, and that's where you can find the YouTube. I got a Facebook page and Facebook group, and you can find me on Facebook. Yeah, we do the Bigfoot stuff and
information, and I'll put that out there.
What do you say?
Your Facebook page.
It's the same name.
Can you hear
Lost Cryptids Conservatory. Same name, the Lost Cryptids Conservatory. You guys can find it on Facebook and stuff. It's pretty easy. And I post to a lot of different groups. You can usually find me. We might be wandering down some alleyways this next week or two. And, there's a lot of crazy stuff to go through and potentially show.
And I noticed you're doing a lot more shows. I seen you had some shows set up.
Yeah.
I see.
I'll be lining them up. Hopefully, at least once a week or twice a week and stuff. I took a little break and got recharged and back at it and stuff. So, yeah, I got basically a lot planned out.
Well, I got you pre-approved, dude, on my Facebook page. Just post your videos on there, your whatever you need to, and people will come over. I know they will. They'll support you. But yeah, you're pre-approved, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Definitely helps. And yeah, the algorithm's not like me and likes me. It doesn't like when you take breaks and stuff like that. It likes when you continually just pump stuff out. So you gotta jump back into it again. But I'm having fun. I gotta have fun. Gotta be passionate. I just did a show on the mental fortitude of surviving Bigfoot land and when you deal with all the it can be draining and stuff, regardless of how many dogs are barking at you in the alleyway. It actually is pretty draining being in this community and learning about these topics and stuff. Maybe the spiritual influence will come with it too. Kind of talk about different aspects of the paranormal. Even I don't get into it. I don't go busting hunting and stuff because of, there could be a little demon kid. It's so dumb. You don't know and all that. So you got to be careful when you investigate any kind of stuff. And always pray and let Christ over you. I really think it saves a lot of craziness in your life. So
I figured out that I have my outdoor channel, and I love my outdoor channel. I mean, it's more relaxing to me. It's not as stressful as this channel, as this topic. I just feel that, man, this field has so much negativity and darkness in it. And, I go over to my outdoor channel and I talk to like all the people that hunt, fish, survive, prep. Whole different atmosphere, man. Everybody's willing to help you. They're so nice and, and over here it's like, oh, he got something I didn't. Or cut his throat, lie about him.
Yeah, it's the paranormal field, UFO, ghost community, and our community there, kind of like that. It's weird. Like I said, some of this is very occultic knowledge, so maybe it has something to do with that. So you got to be careful diving down these rabbit holes. You might end up in the devil's lap, and you chased after ghosts or things you don't really know of until it turns around and it's a big giant monster that's going to devour you, and you can't run away.
Right.
Next thing you know, you got a big old sandwich full of corn.
Yeah. You're gonna enjoy that corn, and you're gonna enjoy it again when it comes out.
You can throw that spaghetti at the wall so many times, but one of them times you're going to get a shit sandwich.
That seems to be the motto for the cryptic group, like Deep Throat from the X-Files. No one, Mulder.
And it's unfortunate because we can't get anything really done. Because there's really this,
And that's the problem with trying to sort out what's true and what's false. Because there's a lot of misinformation about cryptids out there. And there's people intentionally feeding misinformation to who you are.
Oh yeah, people have. I'll email the story channel this time again and send them my ChatGPT story, and then that person's like, "Oh, another story came in." Blah 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 blah. And there are dozens of panels that are doing that. It's not special to do that, and especially with the AI, you can get 100 stories within like a minute. I mean, it is ridiculous. It is really unreliable resource now. It's not.
Right.
It is a resource to gather, but at the same time, it's worse than AI videos. And stories are stories. Anyway, story. I mean, it's not evidence. It's not reality. It's not going out there like boots in the ground and stuff. I mean, yes, we're just gonna find out stuff.
It's entertainment.
Yeah, it's entertainment. It's very fundamental to human history and development, the storytelling around like the campfires and stuff. Humans have a lot of oral traditions and folklore and songs and stuff. So it's very relatable. A lot of people, when they hear a good story, our bodies physiologically change and stuff. We slow down. We work up, our brain waves change and stuff. And we're really into a story compared to like someone with ADHD and they don't really care. Just like, but so like. It captures people. There's a natural just the way that humans are captured through a good story. That's why people love movies. Same thing, you know.
I believe that it's the stories.
Never-ending stories that are just the fish gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Jim Bob Joe and Billy Bob and Jimbo and whatever names you can't.
I don't have enough jewelry to be a good storyteller, dude. I can't afford it.
I wouldn't be able to keep up with all the names, this and that. It sounds the same, doesn't it? It's like that's too hard. Just easier just to go out there and experience the shit. So much easier, so much better. That's why, yeah, it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, man, I'm going to let you run. And I've seen a lot of our people are heading out. They're headed to bed. Blake, we're going to have you back. I want to wish you and your family, man, a Merry Christmas. And I hope you all have a lot of blessings this year and a lot of great memories. Good health.
Well, thank you. And same to all you guys, too. We all need it. We all deserve it and stuff. It's that time of year. So,
Absolutely.
We're going to have you back, though. We'll have you back soon, man.
Yeah, anytime. You know, just hit me up and we'll figure it out.
All right, man. Well, you take care. God bless you and your family, man. Thanks for giving us your time tonight.
Of course, you guys take it easy and stuff, right? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Merry Christmas, Blake.
Yep,
Guys take it easy. Good night, chat.
You know, it's always a pleasure to have him on. God, there's so much I want to say I can't say. Maybe one of these days. Maybe
Someday.
someday. But I did not say what I wanted to say. There's so much that I want to say because there's so much that people need to know that I can't say. And I can know how blah what I want to say. Is that right? Am I saying that right, Fluff? No habla. Is he still with me? No comprende.
No comprende.
Vámonos, Fluff. Vámonos, Fluff. Vámonos.
Vámonos and hurry up.
Yeah. That's all he says is yeah. He's like, yeah. What was that? What's the other one? He said no habla. He don't speak Spanish. I forgot.
The other one's mucho with the capita.
Nancy does. She said, "Sí." What was that one? How was it they were saying it? Cousin. What was they saying? Cousin. What was the word they was using for that? For cousin?
Primo.
Yeah, primo.
Mm-hmm.
Start calling it the primo club.
No, that's Hermano Clef.
Hermano club.
Yeah, that's brother. Hermano Clef.
That's not usually the word I hear him called, but I'm not going to say that on my channel.
Yeah. I think that also starts with a P.
Poor Clough, man. That ain't right, Clough, that they would do that to you. I would never do that to you. I would never say that. So what y'all think about tonight's show? I thought it was a great show.
Yeah, they said there's a lot of backfeed audio coming through.
Yeah, is there a delay talking to you guys?
I'm going to mute my mic.
There must be a delay.
Yeah, somebody has feedback on their mic, and it's not me.
See, and
But that's been driving me nuts. It sounds like Morse code. Somebody's back there typing Morse code in the background. It's driving me absolutely fucking crazy. I kid you not.
Is it me?
it's you.
You.
Backfeed?
Yeah.
I should have known better. It's just like what happens when we're on the phone, too.
It's Jesse.
It's not my fault.
It's Jesse. Hold on. Tell me if That way I'll know next time. Hold on.
Thing, but it's like I have tone deaf where I can hear fine background noise. I can't distinguish sound. They all blend together. So when there's too much background noise, it's hard for me to hear.
Michelle.
Hold on.
And I wasn't trying to talk over fake.
Oh my gosh. It just gradually got worse and worse as the show went on.
How about now?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't
Is
hear
this-
that. The
this-
code in the back. Yeah, I can. Thank you, dude, because you're about to drive me absolutely.
Oh man.
See, this is what I probably should have. You should have told me. I would have changed out.
It was
I
like a
heard the
gradual.
feeling, but I didn't want to be rude to you. You know, in front of everybody. I thought I'd be rude to you later. You know.
Oh, it's okay.
Everybody-
Jesse's. It's okay. Jesse's rude to me all the time and on here.
What?
Well, you know, she's a woman, so you can get away with it.
Right.
What
I
are you
mean,
gonna do?
Gosh.
exactly. I mean, she is the, what are you called? The destroyer, or what's the word they call you? The
Well, she's prior military, so she probably has at least hand-to-hand training. She could probably kick your fat ass.
oh, I'm
In
sure
a
she
fist.
could. Especially if I get her scorned.
Oh my gosh.
Bruh.
What is she? She's the what was that word?
I'm not giving it any place. Nope.
She won't tell me now.
Nope.
And I don't know comic books enough. Clough could probably tell me. Clough, what was Jesse's comic book name?
No, Clough, it wasn't the Destroyer.
But
The
it can be somebody who
Judicator.
would have pissed off and scoring you. Mike Kent.
What?
You should be right there.
Well, that's a new one.
There we go.
Are you talking about Jesse's booty? Are you talking about somebody else's booty? What?
That'll be the new one to circulate now.
Yeah. It'll go right along with all the rest of the lies that they're
Yeah.
spewing.
There's an actual song called "Shake Your Beauty." It's an old one. Anybody ever heard that? It's like an old disco song.
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
that Shake Your Groove thing. Shake your
Shake your
groove thing.
beauty.
Hey, I guess one of these nights I could dance the Macarena for you guys.
Hey, Macarena.
I could even do it in roller skates.
As long as other family members assist you, that would be okay. You by yourself, please. That would be peer torture for me.
Maybe I could get Josh to do it with me.
There you go.
Oh, I have
Maybe-
a question.
Bigfoot. Maybe you can go out and try that out there when you're on boots to the ground and see if they'll play along. Maybe you can get one of them to help you. One of the
Maybe.
cryptids. You never know. They could get bored. Ask them.
Hey, Orphan. Is Orphan still in the chat? Orphan, are you still in the chat? I don't know if we lost him or not. Did we lose Orphan already? Orphan! Y'all come out and play!
I haven't seen them say anything for a while.
Yeah, I haven't done it.
Yeah, I guess some people do work, right? So they probably go to sleep at a decent hour.
Think that Orphan is
Oh.
still here, Mike.
Clough, don't be jealous. I got a comic book name and you didn't.
Hey, I have a comic book. I have a what was his name? Namor number 1, 2, 3, and 4. I found those today when I was cleaning out the garage when I used to have comic books a long time ago.
Hey, you ought to start you a comic book series based on some of your adventures. That'd be some cool ass shit.
Oh, I could use my own photos and my military gear.
Sure, why not?
That goes over real well.
Except you have to be able to draw for comic books. Well, I guess
Nah.
you could use AI, right?
Yeah, I just use AI. That's why they call me AI Mike.
Mhm.
I mean, haven't you heard?
I don't believe everything I hear.
Well, you should, because nobody in this community be lying about nothing.
Right.
Everybody.
It's all the truth.
It's all the truth. Yep. Because
Well, the truth, it's money they make off.
Like that one guy says, mm-hmm. And that's what they do. Mm-hmm.
This animal, whatever you want to call it, natural field. The truth is based on how much money these people are making.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you don't have to hear with the money income.
Mm-hmm.
Once somebody starts telling the truth, and it's different from their main line of bullshit that they've been teaching everybody, people get jealous and pissed, and then they start attacking.
Mm-hmm. That's why I keep a machete under my bed. Because I used to live in Nowata, and I know the way those kind of people are. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know. Mm-hmm. And Brenda, let me tell you, she's meaner than a one-legged lady in an ass-kicking contest. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't have said that, but I owed it. Yeah. I heard she got a job last week. She's working at IHOP. Mm-hmm. Jesse, you better start walking us out of here.
Oh, okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. We need to leave before Mike gets himself in trouble. Hope everybody has a great week coming up. God bless. Stay safe. Let's keep warm in this weather. We'll see you next time. Randy.
Oh, Lord. Mm-hmm. She's my friend. And I like to call her Hot Wheels. Mm-hmm.
Randy, you better get us out of here quick.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for showing up and supporting us. We appreciate you being here tonight. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless your family. And have a beautiful night.
Guys, I appreciate you being here supporting us and everything tonight. I couldn't do it without you guys. God bless you guys. If I don't see you on the Boots on the Ground and y'all are traveling for the holidays and you don't make it, Merry Christmas to you and your family. God bless you guys. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. With all that aside, guys, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner, as always. And I hope that Abe gets better from stubbing his toe on that Love Foundation. Mm-hmm. And that he joins us back tonight. We'll see y'all on the next one. We love you guys. We'll see you next time.
Good night.